What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the game length for Horizon Forbidden West. Now, we actually have conflicting reports. I would like to say it's as easy as just reading one article and one person's opinion, although it's actually the same person that said both of these things, which is pretty funny. So let's go through what I'm talking about here. Pretty much, we have two different sources, one from Push Square. Push Square wrote the article, and the German site GamePro managed to glean some information about Aloy's upcoming adventure from game director, and I do not know how to say his name, so I'm just going to entirely skip it, but from their game director. Now, remember that, though. Remember, it's coming from the game director because he also said something else to somebody else, and they kind of conflict each other, at least in my opinion. But basically, Forbidden West is apparently about as long as its predecessor, quote unquote. So that's literally the quote, is about as long as its predecessor. And then this is actually what I was gonna do if Push Square didn't do this. If you go to How Long to Beat, which is a phenomenal website, I suggest everybody bookmarks it and just knows about it. The average time to beat the game for the main story for Zero Dawn was 22 hours. 44 hours if you include side quests, and 60 if you do everything. Obviously, there was the DLC as well, but this is literally just the base game, okay? So, if you take that and then you go to, again, this German site, then you would think, oh, okay, 20, 25 hours of story, however you want to stretch it, that's how long it's going to be. Well, what's interesting is if you go here, Joe Miller tweeted out, and he says, according to this guy's name, and it's the same guy, it will take several hundred of hours to complete Horizon Forbidden West 100%, which includes the main and side quests. So now we've jumped up to at least 200 hours, because several hundred of hours is not one, right? It has to be two or more. And so that, to me, so here's the deal. Like, I thought this was going to be a very clear-cut thing. I don't know why it's not a clear-cut thing. Just tell us a rough estimate, because here's the deal, right? We know developers stretch it. I mean, very, very often what ends up happening is developers tell you how long it takes to beat a game or to do whatever, and then you can shave a considerable, you can go in percentages, whatever. You can shave a considerable amount of that off, right? I think even like Resident Evil could have been said to take like 15 or so hours when that game is really like a 6 to 8 hour game. So I'm not saying you can take half, and again, different developers will talk differently, right? But I think normally you can scratch off a little. So if they told us like tomorrow the main story is going to be 25 hours, I would personally think more like 20 to 22. You do not take their word exact, and that's just the way that that's literally how it's always been. But what's tough here is it's the same, and it's not like it's some like intern, right? It's literally the game director, and that's a tough one, right? So how long is this game? I guess what's confusing to me is like, again, the main story is like, say, 20 to 25 hours to somewhat match Zero Dawn, which is what he said in that first interview. But it would take several hundreds of hours if you do the main missions and the side quests. But if the main story is only like 20, 25 hours, you're telling me you have 175 hours of side quests? That doesn't sound right. And you could say, well, Alex, to do literally everything. Well, number one, that's not what that says. It says main and side quests. Number two, unlike Dying Light 2, right, which caused the big controversy when they said 500 hours, this game does not have multiple endings. This game has one ending. So you go through it. If you do everything, you'll never have to replay it. So, you know what I mean? So like that would add on time. If you had to replay this game, you could say that it would like double your time. I don't know if that would be completely accurate, but you could say it, all right? And so for this, you can't. And again, they just kind of contradict each other, because if it's roughly the same as the first game, and the first game maybe had, again, 20 and let's say like 25 and 25 for the main story, 25 for side quests, and you can give some a little bit more, you can take some a little bit more from one of those. You know what I mean? If it's roughly close to that, where do you get the quadrupling of the side quest part? So I honestly don't know what to. I feel like, well, my honest opinion is I do feel like if you go through the story, okay, and they've actually like addressed this, I guess they've like stressed this, right? Like, you can just go through the story. If you don't want to do the side quests, they've improved the side quests. There's more depth to them. They feel more, like the characters there have more impact, all that stuff. But if you want to skip it and just do the story, you can do that. And so to me, I'm going to say, yeah, I feel like the story will only be around 2020. Even if you look at Dying Light 2, right? These open world games, they're never that long. That like super, like when they say they're 500 hours long, like a Dying Light, the main story can never be. That's just not how it is. Even like Witcher 3, the main story is what, maybe 30 hours? I would honestly say maybe a little bit less than that if you just did the main story. I think it's probably less than 30. So you just, you know what I mean? You just kind of cap yourself eventually. So I would say main story, 20, 25 hours. I would expect maybe another, I just want it to double. I mean, if it's more than double, if it wants to be like 60, 70 hours of side stuff, I don't know if I'll do them all, but, at least they're there for people that want to. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow me anywhere else, I have a Twitter. I have a second YouTube channel. I also have Patreon and YouTube memberships. The links for all of them are in the description below. I got more Horizon videos coming very, very soon, and I hope to see you guys there.